When God opens the door of your life, no enemy can close it. Because when God authorizes a season, no opposition has the legal right to deny it. Every divine door is backed by divine authority, and authority cancels resistance. You must understand that your life is not governed by the opinions of people, the fears of your past, or the strategies of your enemies. Your life is governed by purpose, and purpose is older than your problems. Long before you faced a challenge, God had already written the chapter of your victory. Many people worry about who is against them, but the real question is, who opened the door you are walking through? If people opened it, people can close it. If opportunity came through human approval, human disapproval can remove it. But if God opened it, it is sovereign, protected, and sealed by His intention. Enemies can see the door. They can talk about the door. They can gather around the door. But they cannot touch what God has ordained. They may delay, but they cannot deny. They may criticize, but they cannot cancel. Some doors in your life have stayed closed not because of the devil, but because of timing. God protects you by closing doors you are not yet prepared to walk through. And when the right moment arrives, the same door that once resisted you will swing open with ease, not by force, but by purpose. Every door God opens carries an assignment. It is not merely access, it is responsibility. It is not just opportunity, it is alignment. And when you step into that door, you are not stepping into luck. You are stepping into destiny. So walk boldly, walk confidently. Walk with the assurance that the one who opens your doors does not need permission from your past, your critics, or your circumstances. He opens according to purpose, and purpose is undefeatable. When God opens the door of your life, no enemy can close it, because the power behind the door is greater than the pressure against it. When God opens the door of your life, no enemy can close it. And when God opens that door, He does not consult your background, your failures, or the opinions of those who misjudged you. He opens it based on His intention for you, an intention established before anyone ever knew your name. Purpose is older than your existence on earth, and because purpose is older, it is stronger. It is the blueprint of heaven placed inside you, and no earthly force can override it. Many people live exhausted because they spend their time fighting those who are trying to shut doors that were never theirs to open in the first place. You cannot waste your energy debating with people who do not hold the keys to your destiny. They did not design your purpose. They did not create your gift. And they do not possess the authority to close what God has opened. Their resistance is noise. God's intention is law. Every divine door is built with two dimensions, opportunity and opposition. Whenever God opens something for you, there will always be a voice, a situation, or a person attempting to disqualify you. Not because they have power, but because the presence of the door reveals your potential. The enemy does not waste energy on people going nowhere. Resistance is proof that the door is real. Attack is evidence that your future is significant. Pressure indicates movement toward destiny. And yet, no matter how strong the resistance appears, no opposition can override divine authorization. When heaven stamps a season with open, it does not matter how long you've been waiting, how impossible it looks, or how strong the forces against you may seem. Earth must eventually yield to the command of heaven. The challenge for most people is not the presence of closed doors. It is their misinterpretation of them. Some doors remain closed to protect you from premature exposure. Some remain closed because you are still being prepared. Some remain closed because what is behind them is bigger than your current capacity. God does not merely want you to enter a door. He wants you to be able to stay there, flourish there, and transform what is within it. A closed door in one season does not mean denial. It means development. It means God is refining your vision, strengthening your character, and stretching your faith. There are doors God will not open until your mind is ready. Not your talent, not your ambition, your mind. Because your mind is the steering wheel of your destiny, and no open door can compensate for an unprepared mind. But when the moment comes, when your preparation aligns with God's timing, the door you once pushed, prayed, and cried over will open without strain. Not because you earned it, but because you matured into it. Destiny does not respond to effort alone. It responds to alignment. You must also understand that when God opens a door, it rarely looks like what you imagined. We often look for comfort, but God opens doors that demand courage. We look for familiarity, but God opens doors that require faith. We look for ease, but God opens doors that challenge us into growth. God's opportunities are designed not only to elevate you, but to transform you. Therefore, every divine door requires you to step out of the old version of yourself to embrace the identity necessary for the new season. This is why some people cannot follow you through the door God opened for you. They were part of your journey, but not part of your assignment. They helped shape your story, but they cannot shape your purpose. When God opens a door, He often separates you from voices that would weaken your confidence or distort your perception. Not because they are evil, but because their presence is incompatible with your elevation. Every door demands discernment. Not everyone who walked with you can enter with you. And you must not apologize for the doors God opens. Do not shrink to make others comfortable. Do not dim your purpose to maintain familiarity. An open door is a divine announcement that your season has shifted, that your influence is expanding, and that your assignment has upgraded. When God opens a door, it is not a suggestion. It is an invitation to step into a higher dimension of responsibility and impact. You must walk through God's doors with boldness because hesitation can sabotage destiny. Opportunity has a timing. Doors do not stay open indefinitely. Some doors close not because of your enemies, but because of your indecision. Destiny requires movement. Faith is not merely believing God, it is obeying Him. And obedience is the key that unlocks the other side of the door. Many people pray for open doors, but are unprepared for what lies behind them. An open door does not eliminate challenges, it elevates them. New levels come with new tests, new responsibilities, new expectations. But they also come with new grace, new insight, and new strength. When God opens a door, He equips you for the environment behind it. You never enter a divine door empty. Handed, you enter with everything He built in you through the seasons of waiting, pruning, and refinement. The presence of enemies does not mean the absence of God. In fact, sometimes God allows your enemies to witness your elevation so they can see that it was not by your strength, but by His favor. He prepares tables in their presence, not to humiliate them, but to demonstrate that purpose cannot be stopped by opposition. Your victory is a testimony of His sovereignty. And the beauty of a God open door is that you do not have to manipulate it, force it, or pretend to keep it open. You do not have to compete with anyone for what is yours. You do not have to fear being replaced. You do not have to fear losing your place. What God opens for you is customized for you. It is shaped around your gift, your character, your calling, and your identity. Nobody else can occupy what was designed for you. Some doors will require you to leave behind old habits, old fears, old patterns of thinking. You cannot carry insecurity into a door that requires confidence. You cannot carry bitterness into a door designed for influence. You cannot carry doubt into a door built for faith. Every door demands a version of you that is bigger than the version that stood on the outside. The door is not just an opportunity. It is a mirror revealing the parts of you that must grow. God's doors often come disguised as challenges. A difficult situation may be the doorway to your greatest breakthrough. A setback may be the doorway to reinvention. A disappointment may be the doorway to clarity. A loss may be the doorway to purpose. When God opens a door, it is not always wrapped in comfort, but it is always wrapped in destiny. You must train your eyes to see beyond the surface. If you judge the door by how it looks instead of what it leads to, you will miss divine opportunities. Some doors are shaped like service, not status. Some doors are shaped like small beginnings, not big stages. Some doors are shaped like obscurity, not visibility. But obscurity is often the workshop of greatness. Small beginnings are often the seedbeds of global impact. Do not despise the small door, for the small door often leads to the big room. And remember this, when God opens a door, opposition may intensify, but it cannot prevail. The storm may rise, but it cannot sink you. The critics may shout, but they cannot cancel destiny. The obstacles may multiply, but they cannot overpower the one who engineered the opening. Your confidence must come from the one who holds the door, not from the circumstances surrounding it. This is why gratitude must be your posture. Gratitude protects your heart from arrogance. Gratitude keeps you connected to the source. Gratitude maintains your awareness that the door is not your achievement, but your assignment. The moment you believe you are the sole architect of your success, you disconnect from the grace that sustains the door. But when you remain grateful, you remain aligned with the purpose behind the opening. As you move through the door God opens, walk with integrity. Elevation without character is a collapse waiting to happen. The door gives you access, character keeps you inside. The door introduces you to a new level. Integrity sustains your influence at that level. A God-given door is not merely an upgrade in status. It is an upgrade in responsibility. Your life, your decisions, and your influence become a demonstration of the purpose that placed you there. When God opens the door of your life, no enemy can close it, no force can block it, and no circumstance can undo it. The opening is a statement of divine intention, and intention is stronger than interference. The door is a symbol of your becoming, a gateway into the next dimension of your calling, and a reminder that your destiny is not in the hands of those who oppose you, but in the hands of the one who created you. And as long as you walk with that awareness, that deep, immovable confidence that whatever God has opened is irreversible, you will move with a boldness that refuses to be intimidated by challenges. You will speak with authority. You will act with clarity. You will stand with courage, because you know that the door you are walking through is not a coincidence. It is not luck. It is not human favor. It is the manifestation of divine purpose unfolding in your life. When God opens the door of your life, no enemy can close it. When God opens the door of your life, no enemy can close it. And once that door swings open, you begin to realize that his openings are not random moments. They are strategic intersections between preparation and destiny. God does not open doors out of impulse. He opens them out of intention. Every door he opens is connected to something greater than the moment. It is tied to legacy, to impact, to the unfolding of purpose that stretches beyond your lifetime. When God opens a door, it is more than access. It is authorization. It is heaven's endorsement on your assignment. It is the confirmation that you have entered a season where grace, timing, and purpose are working together. And when these three forces align, no earthly power can dismantle what God is building in your life. Some people fear the presence of enemies around their open doors, but their fear is misplaced. The presence of enemies is often the confirmation of divine movement. When God elevates, resistance emerges. When purpose advances, opposition becomes visible. But opposition is not an indicator of defeat. It is a sign that you have stepped into territory that threatens darkness. If nothing rises against you, it means nothing is afraid of what you carry. Every open door comes with weight. It carries the weight of responsibility, influence, pressure, and transformation. God does not open doors to entertain you. He opens them to expand you. And expansion requires stretching. It demands faith in places where your comfort cannot survive. You cannot depend on old habits inside new opportunities. When God opens a door, He invites you into a version of yourself you have not yet fully met. There will be moments when the door God opens looks overwhelming. It may feel too big, too unfamiliar, too demanding. But what appears intimidating is often simply unfamiliar. Do not let unfamiliarity make you shrink from destiny. Growth always begins with a step into the unknown. Faith is not a feeling, it is movement. You step first, and understanding follows. Some doors God opens are not loud, they come quietly. They come through conversations, connections, unexpected encounters, small tasks, subtle instructions. God's greatest doors often arrive disguised as ordinary moments. Those who are spiritually aware can sense the divine in what looks simple. They recognize destiny wrapped in simplicity. They understand that small beginnings are God's way of building strong foundations. When God opens a door, He is not merely guiding your steps. He is revealing His trust in you. He trusts you to steward the opportunity. He trusts you to represent His character. He trusts you to influence the environment you are entering. Favor is not just privilege, it is responsibility. To carry favor is to carry weight. To walk in purpose is to walk with accountability. God opens doors not just to bless you, but to make you a blessing. This is why humility is essential. Humility keeps you grounded while destiny elevates you. Pride will attempt to take credit for what grace produced. Pride will make you believe the door opened because of your brilliance, your talent, or your connections. But humility recognizes that the door opened because God authored it. You walked in, yes, but He unlocked it. You stepped through, yes, but He created it. Humility protects the integrity of your elevation. And you must never forget God opens doors not only for progression, but for protection. Sometimes He opens a door so you can escape an environment that is no longer aligned with your destiny. Sometimes He opens a door to remove you from relationships that drain your purpose. Sometimes He opens a door because staying where you are would stunt your growth. Not every open door leads upward. Some lead away from danger. When God opens the door of your life, He also closes certain options that would have distracted you. Closed doors are not punishments, they are safeguards. If you saw the weight of what was behind some of the doors you wished were open, you would thank Him for His silence. His refusal is protection. His delay is development. His not yet is preparation. And His yes comes only when the structure of your character is strong enough to sustain the future He is bringing you into. Walking through God's open doors requires discernment. Discernment is the ability to distinguish between opportunity and distraction. Not every open door is divine. Some doors open by temptation, by ambition, by manipulation, or by desperation. But a God-given door carries peace. Not the absence of fear, but the presence of clarity. It carries alignment. Your spirit recognizes it even if your mind does not fully comprehend it yet. Discernment allows you to say yes without hesitation and no, without guilt. It keeps you from wasting energy in rooms that are not connected to your assignment. It prevents you from entering doors that lead to cycles instead of purpose. And it sharpens your awareness of God's timing, because a door opened outside of timing is as dangerous as a door opened by the wrong source. When God opens a door, you must carry confidence, but not arrogance. Confidence is the fruit of trust in His ability. Arrogance is trust in your own. Confidence allows you to walk with boldness. Arrogance will cause you to underestimate the responsibility of the opportunity. Confidence recognizes that God placed you there. Arrogance forgets that God can replace you. Remember, open doors must be stewarded, not taken for granted. Your enemies may attempt to intimidate you at the threshold of the door. They may speak doubt, plant fear, remind you of your past, or magnify your limitations. But their strategy is psychological, not spiritual. They cannot close the door. They can only distract you from walking through it. Their weapons are noise. Your weapon is focus. Their intention is discouragement. Your strength is obedience. You move not because you feel ready, but because God said the door is open. Inside every God, open door is a process. You will be stretched, challenged, refined, and elevated. Open doors do not eliminate difficulty. They introduce a new level of difficulty designed to shape the next version of you. Growth is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. You cannot step into new realms of influence with old levels of discipline. You cannot enter greater responsibility with lesser commitment. The door is not just an entrance, it is a transition. As you move deeper into the space God has opened, you will notice new opportunities forming around you. A divine door rarely stands alone. It multiplies favor. It activates connections. It attracts resources. Once you step into obedience, everything attached to that season begins to unfold. You will meet people who were assigned to your destiny. You will encounter opportunities that match your calling. You will walk into environments that require the exact gifts God has placed within you. And along the way, God will reveal to you why the waiting was necessary. You will understand why He did not open this door earlier. You will see that every delay was working for your development. You will realize that the person you were last season could not have survived this season. You will thank Him not only for the door, but for the timing of the door. When God opens the door of your life, He gives you access to what your faith has been preparing for. There are prayers you prayed years ago that you forgot about, but God did not. There are desires He planted in your heart that you doubted would ever manifest, but He did not. There are promises that seem distant, but God was aligning them with the right moment. A divine door is often the answer to a prayer you prayed when you were broken, unseen, or uncertain. A God-opened door also reveals who truly believes in your purpose. Some people will celebrate you as long as your life looks average. But once God begins to open doors, true intentions become visible. Some will rejoice with you. Others will distance themselves. Some will become intimidated by your progress. Others will attempt to attach themselves to your elevation without contributing to your journey. Discern who is meant to walk with you and who is simply watching you. Not everyone deserves access to the environment behind your God-given door. Remember this, an open door does not guarantee effortless progress. You still must walk, you still must work, you still must pray, decide, sacrifice, and persevere. God opens the door, but you must cross the threshold. Destiny requires partnership. God provides opportunity, you provide obedience. God gives direction, you give movement. God gives potential, you give discipline. If you refuse to move, you will remain at the doorway of a future you never enter. Many people stand at the entrance of destiny, but never cross over because of fear, laziness, doubt, insecurity, or attachment to the familiar. The door is open, but they remain on the outside. God will not push you, He invites you. And your willingness determines your experience. As you walk through the door, keep your spirit sensitive. God will speak to you differently in this new season. He will give you instructions that are not for the crowd. He will whisper strategies, warnings, and ideas tailored to your assignment. You must protect the voice of God more than any opportunity. The door opened because of His voice. Staying inside that door requires the same voice. And as you continue in the place He has opened, you will encounter acceleration. What took years before may now happen in months. Connections that used to be difficult suddenly become natural. Resources that were once scarce begin to flow. This is not coincidence. This is divine momentum. Once God authorizes your season, favor begins to operate at a speed human effort cannot produce. When God opens the door of your life, He shifts your identity. You stop living as someone who is trying to qualify for purpose and start living as someone who was chosen for purpose. You stop striving for acceptance and start operating in assignment. You stop questioning your significance and start embracing your calling. Open doors reveal who you really are. And through it all, you must remember the door is not the destination. It is the beginning of a greater journey. God opens doors not to end something, but to begin something. Each door leads to another dimension, another chapter, another level of impact. When God opens the door of your life, no enemy can close it, because the door was never in their hands to begin with. It is secured by the one who authored your purpose, designed your destiny, and ordained your future. Your responsibility is to walk through it, grow within it, and honor the one who opened it. When God opens the door of your life, you walk with an assurance that cannot be shaken by circumstances, opinions, or opposition. His openings are intentional, his timing is perfect, and his purpose is unstoppable. No enemy can cancel what heaven has authorized. No challenge can reverse what God has established. Your role is simply to trust him, move with him, and steward every opportunity he places before you. And as you do, you will discover that every door he opens leads you deeper into the life he designed, the impact he intended, and the destiny he prepared long before you ever arrived.